Hi, this is Garibay and I. We're going to talk about Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday is upon us. It is coming up, and I'm also going to give you my predictions for who's going to win and who is going to lose in Super Tuesday. Let's get to the cool part first. Let's talk about who's going to win and who's going to lose in Super Tuesday. So let me give you the shape of Super Tuesday real quick. Super Tuesday, we've had 4 voting events to this point, okay? It's been 4 states. So we've had Iowa, Nevada, South Carolina, and New Hampshire. Okay, 4 voting events. Now, Super Tuesday, that's 4 states. Super Tuesday is 15 states. Okay, there are 1,344 delegates up for grabs. This is huge. This is a massive part of the election. And it's really, I cannot explain how important this is. It is massively important. Now, a lot of people are like, well, it's the whole ball of wax, Scott. It's way more important than what just happened. That's not true. The 4 first voting events, Iowa is incredibly important. Iowa set the tone for everything that would come after, okay? So what did the 4 for, I guess I'm not getting to the important part first here. You know what? Let me stay focused. Yeah, all right, I'll get it right out here. Okay, Super Tuesday, 1,344 votes. Here's how it's going to break down. All right, Sanders will win. 650 delegates won. All right, Pete Buttigieg will come in second with 250 delegates. Next will be Joe Biden with 200 delegates. In 4th place will be Amy Klobuchar with 150 delegates. Elizabeth Warren will be way down in 5th place with just 50 delegates. Below that will be the truly bottom of the barrel candidates. Mike Bloomberg will come in with 30 delegates. 30 delegates, okay? 1. And then Tom Steyer will get 10 delegates. And here's a blast from the past. Tulsi Gabbard, who's still in a race. Tulsi's still right there. She's just been invisible. Will get 4 delegates. 4. Okay? I'll give you those numbers one more time. It's going to be Sanders at 650. It's going to be Buttigieg at 250. It's going to be Joe at 200. It's going to be Amy at 150. It's going to be Elizabeth at 50. It's going to be Bloomberg at 30, Steyer at 10, Tulsi at 4. Okay? All right. Now let's get back to the overall shape. So that's pretty incredible. And a lot of people are talking about, well, that's the really important. Super Tuesday is a whole ball of wax. It ain't the whole ball of wax. The 4 initial voting events were incredibly important because they told an incredibly important message. There were 2 messages told with the early states. They're called the early states, by the way. The early state voting events, primaries and caucuses. Primaries are private voting. Caucuses are public voting. Caucuses are very weird. They're like the dodo bird of the aviary political world. And primaries are like the eagle of the aviary political world. Caucuses are weird, man. I love caucuses. I think they're fantastic. All right, so here's the issue. What's it matter that we have a few hundred votes? Just like a few, like I think we have maybe 200 votes bouncing around between the candidates right now, and now we're looking at 1,300 being decided in one day. So by the way, this is all going to happen on March 3rd. March 3rd is Super Tuesday, okay? What's the point of what's the point of the early states? Well, they tell a very clear message. What was the message that came out of the early states? Where there was 2 messages that came out of the early states. Message number 1, Iowa, the most dangerous, destructive message that's ever come out of, I can't say ever, because we got some bad stuff in our American history. It actually is. It's one of the most dangerous, destructive messages that's ever come out from the DNC, from the Democrat Party in the history of America. Absolutely no two ways about it. It is one of the most dangerous messages ever. And I was like, hey, if you are one of these people who boo-hoos voting and is like, I don't really want to engage with politics, my vote doesn't matter, nobody cares about my vote, you're 100% right. Nobody cares about your vote. Nobody cares about your vote. Nobody cares about your vote. Voting doesn't matter. And nobody's going to count your vote, and your vote doesn't count. And you could just stay home. That was the message from Iowa. It took a week to count the votes. Horrifying, terrifying. It said in the first voting event of 2020, the Democrats said, trust and believe. You will be terrified by what happens with the coming election. Rest assured there will be conspiracies and weird dark businesses and weird Candy Crush level apps that will be involved in our voting, and it will be massive delays and incompetence and like just terrifying, horrible assurances that anyone who wanted to disengage from voting is very, very right to do so. Because the reality is the people who are in charge of counting your votes, it appears that they could not care less. Could not care less, right? That your vote is treated like the prize in a Cracker Jack box, like it's virtually worthless. Like it was put through a Candy Crush level tested app that did far more damage than whatever Russian meddling happened in 2016. It was the most destructive, terrifying one of the most destructive, terrifying messages ever sent to the American public voter base. And it will do massive damage, and it will absolutely repress and suppress. Like the Democrats are like, oh, the Republicans are suppressing voter turnout. In a single day, the Democrats did more to suppress voter turnout with the debacle that was Iowa than I think the Republicans have done with gerrymandering in 20 years. It was terrible, and we're going to be paying a price for it for a very, very long time. I cannot tell you how bad Iowa was. There will be books written on the absolute debacle that Iowa was. It was horrible, horrible. Now let me be clear. No one should listen to that idea that the votes do matter, right? No one's incompetence, no one's lack of care for your vote should make you not want to vote. But boy, I have a ton of sympathy for people who think it does. The people who are disengaged from politics, I have so much sympathy for them. The system is so opaque and complicated, and it sends so many signals that your vote is not desired and will not be treated with respect or care. And boy, oh boy, did Iowa send that message. Shocking, absolutely shocking on the part of the DNC, absolutely shocking on the part of the people who counted the votes in Iowa. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. What was the other message that we got from the early state votings? There was one more. You better put in some labor. Money ain't enough. A wallet is not enough to be president. Right? That is a message to every billionaire out there. If you think you're going to skip real campaigning, you think you're going to skip shaking Americans' hands, you think you're going to skip coming out in 2018 and getting under the hot sun and actually making real speeches, and you're just going to buy some television ads and win American votes, you better check yourself, because here's what's going to happen. Bloomberg and Steyer, you're goose egg, you're nothing candidates. That was the message of early state voting, and it was incredibly valuable. America told every billionaire in the world, if you don't get out there and you don't do the real work and you just try to sit behind your desk and buy ads to get the goodwill of American people, they will say, heck to the no. You better Elizabeth Warren this thing, right? You better get out there and take selfies. You better be under the hot sun. You better get a sunburn. You better get, yucky germs on your hand. You better have a baby spit up in your face. You buying ads is not enough, and we will reject your money. And you, Mike Bloomberg, are a goose egg nothing candidate. You get goose egg nothing delegates. And you, Tom Steyer, are a goose egg nothing candidate. You get goose egg nothing delegates. That is a powerful, powerful message from the powerful, powerful American people. And it came early, right? It was 4 states saying these billionaires are goose egg candidates, goose egg delegates, and that's what they should get when Super Tuesday comes too. powerful, powerful message, right? And it came early. It set the tone. It set the pace. Incredibly important. Now, let's talk about Super Tuesday, right? Because Super Tuesday, I will say this, it is going to act like a tsunami, all right? It's going to be a tsunami of votes, a tsunami of delegates, a tsunami of coverage, right? And it is going to sweep away, I think it's going to sweep away at least one candidate. So you could see Tom Steyer go away here. You could see Elizabeth Warren go away here. You could see Joe Biden go away here. I think all those candidates are up to get shot and gone. They are absolutely, easily could be gone from this election after Super Tuesday. Very, very easily, right? And so I think, and I will say now, I think the real, now why am I saying Bloomberg could be in the election after Super Tuesday? Well, he's obstinate and he's a billionaire and he's got enough money to burn. And so, and his campaign is not really going to be based on performance. It's going to be based on, like his own arrogance, I think. It'll be interesting to see. Excuse me. All right, so that is all very, very, very important. It is a lot of delegates. And once this is set, we are going to see a real, the race is going to be really happening. And we're going to be barreling toward a very real idea of what's going to happen in the national convention, the Democrat National Convention. This is for all the marbles. This is a powerful, powerful occurrence. And Super Tuesday is going to be really, really super. By the way, that term Super Tuesday is truly, that is not a misnomer. This is going to be more super than it's ever been before. There are more delegates up for grabs in this Super Tuesday than in any Super Tuesday in history. You are about to see history made. And I have given you my numbers. We shall see if I am correct or incorrect on the other side. I really appreciate you letting me share my ideas with you today. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful, wonderful millennium.